Yeah, I wanted to discuss President Trump and his immigration policy, and I guess it's new because he's doing it. But this is the real deal: is that the president is that's his job to protect the border, and I don't believe that. Okay, let's do this. Okay, the president's job is to protect the border. I think that the government of Mexico owes the president an apology for calling him Hitler, because the president didn't kill 6 million people. The fact that he asked him to secure the border, that's his job, to protect the country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And if there's drug trafficking from Mexico or people who may put the United States in danger from other countries, then he has the obligation to do something about it and not to wait to do something until it's done. So to call him Hitler is totally out of order, in my view. Totally out of order. The other thing is that as a black American, I can tell you this. As far as the employment picture goes, and people coming over here wanting jobs and education opportunities, and I'm not blaming them for that. I think everybody has the right to make his or her life better. There's no problem with that. But I think that the black politicians who are getting on board with this is out of order. We need to get our own house in order. We need to, before we stretch out and reach out and try to help somebody else, we need to get our own house in order. And they're not doing it. Just because the president is a Republican and we vote mostly Democrat, okay, the election is over. He won the election, it's over. How in God's name can you reach out to another community who putting out, because there's drugs coming from Mexico? There's no issue with that. We already know it. And it didn't just start yesterday. If the stuff that comes from that country is putting our community in danger, that's what you should be focusing on. Now, we have our own issues. Those jobs that are STEM related, that those people come here and they're well versed in STEM and they're getting those opportunities, we need to take what you should be doing is saying to our educators and the people in our community that we got to pull our game up. We got to get our stuff together. Because the reality is, no person from no other country should be coming here getting any opportunity until there's full employment here. And while we're involved in gang violence and underperforming school districts and school systems and school buildings, they're coming over here and they're getting those opportunities for our lack of availability. And whether it's John Lewis, John Conyers, or anybody else, Cory Booker, or anybody else, you need to look at your own community. That's what you really need to do. Because those people come here, they set up shop and a lot of them set up shop in our community. because we're not available. We ain't, we for some reason we can't have the neighborhood businesses. How did that happen? So personally, I don't feel anything for them. I don't feel any love for them. In the Detroit area, 75 or more percent of Detroit is black, yet every store on every corner is owned by an Arabic. And in some of those stores, they're trafficking narcotics, and we know about it. Nothing's being done about that. Nothing being said about it. I mean, the fact is what it is. It's not a joke. It's not a game, and it's the same everywhere else you go. How in God's name do we allow this type of stuff, and then you're going to reach out and criticize the president and call him Hitler because he wants to secure the border? What kind of sense do that make? And the scenario is the same wherever you go. Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, New York, Harlem, Philadelphia. Wherever we are, for some reason, we can't have the businesses in our community. The scenario is the same. And then you want to complain about gentrification, I think it's called. Our leadership let us down. Our leadership let us down. Because when those schools began to decline, they should have jumped right in and did something about it. Like you hollering loud about the immigration issue, you should be hollering loud about that. And that's a good question. Why don't they? Why don't they? Why don't they say anything about it? In all the years that John Conyers has been congressman, since the early 60s, and look at his district. Brenda Lawrence. Shit, that district been passed down since Charles Diggs. The east side of Detroit, on, what happened. At least in Southfield, where Brenda Lawrence is the mayor, we have an IB school now. Before a minute, they didn't have an international baccalaureate school. And the University of Michigan, who says they won't comply with the president's request, or they're not going to cooperate, one of their requirements is international baccalaureate. Black students don't have it, couldn't get it, because there were no schools in our districts that had international baccalaureate just until lately. I mean, think of it. What if you're a student graduating from high school and you want to go to college? And when it's time to apply to college, you read on there that the college is requesting of all its incoming freshmen the international baccalaureate. Your district don't have it. Not only don't they have it in the district, where it's available, you can't go. So guess what? You don't meet the requirements of that institution. Right? You don't meet those requirements. Since you don't meet the requirements, you can't go. Or not that you can't go, but it's likely that you won't be able to go. Then let's say you do get in there. Now you got to compete with the students who got it. And if it's a rigorous program, those students come from a rigorous program, they're going to be used to doing the hard work that you're not used to doing. How you going to fit in? What are you going to major in? Where are you going to be employed? These are the type of things that our politicians haven't addressed. They don't address them. We elect them time after time. If you look at the politicians in the Detroit area, they never address nothing like that. They never address nothing like that. What's being preached in the churches? Do the pastors preach anything like that? But you want to jump on it. See, the president's job is to secure the border. Whether I like it or not, that's his job. If it's narcotics coming across that border, he got to do something about it. The Mexicans cross that border at will. They come when they get ready, they leave when they get ready. And when they come here, they're entitled to everything that everybody else is entitled to. Education, housing, Social Security. Same thing with any immigrant. You can't say that all the immigrants who came here bought something with them, something of value with them, because they didn't. You only got Detroit to look at for that. Those people do business in our community, and guess what they do? They leave the Detroit area and go somewhere else. And then this is what they want to complain about. The police and the teachers and everybody else should live in the community where they work. Well, what about the other hand? Shouldn't the small business owners live in those communities too? But see, the reality is that they maintain a substandard school district. And everybody knows that the backbone of the community is the school district, because when the kids graduate from high school, they got to go somewhere that's going to prepare them to put food on the table for their family. And they know that those were substandard schools, so people moved, and anybody else who could move, moved. Nobody. President Trump, Hitler, he owed him an apology. If you don't give him an apology, then I don't know. I don't know if you really. And if they're not doing it, they should be defunded. I mean, if a kid goes to school and you're not getting the proper education that you should get, that's going to give you an affordable income, then you're just a glorified babysitter. And that was spoken about. They called it warehousing the kids, just letting them sit there, social promoting them. So, I don't think that it's right. I don't think that it's right for someone to come here from another country with their hand out like that. Because of the same politicians that sat by and watched the Detroit public schools go down there and watched those foreigners